I just knocked out an oil change real quick. One of the easiest ones I've ever done. And I use these ramps on the A8 to do an oil change a little bit back. That was interesting because when you go on Amazon, the title, when you buy these things, it's like, oh yeah, they hold 12,000 pounds. Well, they hold 3,000 pounds. They hold 12,000 pounds if you have 4 of them. So I can't imagine you want to put this on something that's 12,000 pounds, like a camper or an RV. That's where a lot of the bad reviews come from. Somebody's like, oh, I bought 2 of these ramps. I put my 11,000 pound RV on it and I collapsed. It was ridiculous. So, but the Sprinter weighs about the same as my A8, which is insane. They're both about 5,500 pounds. So this should run right up here. We'll block the tires, get some jack stands under it for safety, and then do a transmission service. This will be fun, just in case something funny happens. Hey, I'm going to be pulling this up on the ramps. Don't let them run over here. We're gonna get a 2-for-1 special today. I crawl under here and that front brake line's dripping. So it looks like big rusty line comes down. I don't know where that goes, but I think it's this front left one, just dripping. I'll get my flashlight and see. Wife's watching the kid. Oh, he stomped on the RC car. I told him yesterday not to stomp on it. I need some gloves. Oh yeah, this stuff's just black. Took it for a drive. It hasn't been shifting funny or anything. So from what my friend Dominic said, they put double copper washers on it. Idiots. I don't know, maybe that's just a bolt. Anyway, I think contactor plate on top, those will get nasty, and then it tries to go in 2 gears at the same time, and then they just destroy themselves. So the fact that this doesn't do anything weird, it doesn't clunk, doesn't make funny noises, doesn't have enough fluid. Is that all that's coming out? With this and the torque converter, I should get 8 quarts. That was like nothing. Are you gonna drip all over the cross member? Don't do that to me. This has probably never been done. I'd be surprised, because the pan looks pretty clean, if it's actually never been done, but I expected a lot more fluid to come out. This thing is really a tank, if that's the case. Oh, since I'm under here pulling those to drain the torque converter, I still gotta rotate the engine, but this guy I thought would be harder to turn. But you get this plug out and see how it's kind of, it's not too bad. But what'll happen is it'll kind of wick fluid up the wiring, and then it'll fuck the controller up. So I have a new one of these, or not these, I have a new one of these. It's got a nut bolt inside that holds it in. Once that's out, you can unscrew the bolts for the contact plate and drop that. So I'll drop that. The main reason I want to take it off is to look at how much metal is stuck to the speed sensor, because it's magnetic and picks up all the flakes. I spun the engine over like 4 times. I was looking through this hole, so I thought it drained out of there so it would arc this way, but this one's in the back, and it's this little 4mm guy, and it's going to spray over this cross member. So I think I'm going to make some kind of chute that'll help bring it forward so it doesn't make such a mess. But kind of looking around, in a position of that, I wonder if this is not the original torque converter. So I wonder if at some point it had to be changed out in its life. Because although, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I thought it was supposed to be there. Who knows? Either way, I found it. See if that comes loose very easy or not. Oh boy. Well, good enough, I think. Oh, piece of cake. Alright, so time to make a funnel. God. So here's my idea. I got a ton of aluminum foil hanging out for when I smoke meat. So I did it 4 layers deep, rolled the edges up so it'll be kind of structural. I'm going to try to jam it up in there somehow and not, there's the bit too. I'll figure it out. Okay. Hopefully I don't get it in my eyes. God, it's annoying. Why? God, if there's fur on it, you can find it. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, it's kind of working. I'd like it to sit there on its own, so hang on. There we go. Not nearly as I mean, it's judging by what came out of the pan. I don't think there's anything in the torque converter. We'll just leave it here a while. Oh, that's scary. Guess I can find the right size for these bad boys. There, it's starting to come out. Must have, because that hole's so small. I just need to get some air up in it so that it's a little better time draining. It looks like I've slowed to a drip that's slower than my brake line, so that's good. It's got a lot of the fluid out. Looking in there, I don't know. We'll see how much comes out when we do the rest of it. But when you do the torque converter, you're supposed to put like 8 quarts back in. For sure, so far 8 quarts hasn't come out. When we drop the filter, a little more will come out, and probably a little bit more with the valve body. But I'm glad that a lot more than I expected came out of the torque converter. It makes me feel a little better. At least it wasn't super low. I mean, it wasn't low enough to shift funny, so there's that. Anyway, I gotta charge this battery again. There we go. Alright, so let this drip for a while, send some emails. Just those 2 bolts are holding it on either end. So it shouldn't take much to get it to come back down. Yeah. I think I want to do this one, then get my left arm on it, and then do the last one. I don't know how heavy this is. I watched a couple of videos of people dropping it, so hopefully I'm coordinated enough to keep that from happening. This is not a great angle for my arm. I think I do want my right arm on it. Get closer. I used to deliver pizzas in high school, so maybe all that'll come back to me. I'm just gonna set it in here with all the other garbage, pull the whole pan into the garage. Yipper. With that drip. Yeah, I don't want to pull the whole pan. I'll go get my cookie sheet because there's really not a lot coming off anymore. Okay, so here's that whole valve body, and then this is the contactor plate on top. And when you buy a new one of these, it doesn't come with all these solenoids and stuff. So we'll run upstairs and see what the torque is for these bolts, just to make sure. You can pop those off, and there's some contacts down in there, but everything looks pretty clean. And there's not much metal on the speed sensor, probably because it's all down here on this guy. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? I think I may have dodged a bullet, I hope. Like, this fluid's really bad. There's metal shavings everywhere, but there's no chunks that I've found yet. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of clean this up a little bit, slap it back in with new fluid, and we should be fine. Who knows, maybe it was real close to the limit and now it'll last a long time. Right, so double check the service manual, pretty much everything. These bolts, the ones that hold this plate in, and the ones that hold the pan in are 8 Newton meters, and then the drain plug is 20 Newtons, according to them. So these should just be correct. Ooh. Maybe some 8 to put them on. So I don't know if this is the original plate or not. Jesus. Ate my ass. Somebody really went nuts. I need a wrench. Like I said, a wrench. Just snap one in half. Yeah, I usually like using this hand drill because it doesn't make a ton of torque. You can pretty much, even the 8 Newton stuff, I can put it on with this and I don't have to worry about over tightening anything. And these bolts are different lengths. These two are the same. This one's longer, if I remember right. So just keep everything lined up. They just pop out. And those 2 little points go into those plates down there. They look in pretty good shape. I still want to spray them out with contact cleaner. Just because there's so much metal floating around in this stuff. Oh, why you stuck? There we go. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so they have different kinds of sealing surfaces too. I think maybe I'll get a Q-tip and wipe. I don't know, I don't want to get little pieces of Q-tip in there either. And this little arm on the side, to make sure that lines up when we put this back in place. There's a little pin that slides into it, and the spring pin is what keeps the shifter itself. That's how you feel your detents when you move it. Pop, pop, pop around that, and then this is what actually moves and picks the gear. Yeah, so this actually just pulls out. There's like a locating pin, and that's basically it. So wipe all this junk off the top. Make sure these surfaces are nice. And then, more importantly, on the back of the speed sensor, you get little metal goobers off of this too. Yeah, so clean up nicely. I wonder if this is not the original plate too. But I did find out that the torque converter drain plug, my 4mm, there's a guy that posted up his multiple vans, and his 2004 had a 5mm plug that was in the other hole, like I've seen when I was researching this stuff. And his 06 had the same one mine did, so it is possible that's not an aftermarket unit. It might be the original. So we'll do some cleanup and reassembly.
Do that, buddy.
Right?
You know, it's pretty amazing. So, yeah, sorry I got you hit.
Don't be good. I've been itching for years, and it's crazy that it actually is years.
Yeah. So Jen was the other night. She was like, maybe I should just get it over with. Your sensor seems so bad. I was like, nah, that seems like a bad idea. You're the kind of person that this would. All
right, came to the other side so that I can see that the actuator line up where I put it in. This thing's starting to feel kind of heavy. Oh, banging on stuff. So yeah, there's a pin right on the back there, it looks like. This goes up in there. Need to make sure to move it so it goes in its channel. There we go. Oop. Now I have to use my superpowers to hold it in place until I get a couple of these bolts in. Oops. Really? What'd you fall up there? And all the dirt. Oh, hi. Came back. Oh, it gets heavy. Come on, buddy. Don't do this to me. Something's not lined up. Oh, there we go. That's a couple threads in. Ooh, that makes me nervous. I want to get them further. Sweet relief. Okay, pop those other ones in, torque them to 8, and then start getting the pan and the plug back on. Alright, filters in. There's a little slot in there that this clicks into, so it should be nice and tight up there like that, and that helps locate it so it's not wiggling around. Got a new fitting in. It was kind of a butthead, but it's okay. And then this is the only one of the clamps of the pan that's different. You see there's a slot in the side there. That slot is so that you can't really over tighten it. I mean, I know people that would, but the 8 newtons isn't the force it needs to seal, because that spaces it apart. It's to keep apes like me from just completely obliterating the thing. Got a new gasket on, and I put the drain plug in, but I haven't torqued it yet, so I have to remember to do that. Okay, this is my solution for pouring in by myself, because I hear this takes forever. So I use some of the aluminum tape down here. It seems to have stuck pretty well. I'm not trying to seal it, I just don't want it to pop out. And then some safety wire, a little hole in the funnel. Yeah, you can see it's already, because the funnel's all oily, it doesn't want to stick to it. Once there's some weight in there, it should be good. But I should be able to pour some in and then leave it, so I having to hold the dang thing up the whole time. And the manual says if you drain the trans and the torque converter, you should put in 7.7 quarts or liters? Quarts. I think it was quarts. I'll double check. Double check. 7.7 liters. So hopefully this has a decent graduation on it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you pour a whole one in, and then 2.7. 1, 2, somewhere around here, this area, and then we'll leave it. I'm not going to pull it down and test drive it or check the level or anything until after I fix that brake line anyway. Funnel test run. See if it makes a big mess or if I'm a genius. Oh, it leaks everywhere. It was such a good plan. Damn it. Okay, well, I'll have to hold it in with one side, but at least this will keep it from flippy flopping everywhere. It kind of gives it a guide. I got the 7.7 into the van, so let's see how much actually comes out of here. I think it's not going to be much more than 5. I think we're probably almost 3 quarts low. Okay, well, at least get to the top, so that's more than 5 liters. So there's 4, it's like 5. I mean, it tapers up, so you can't really measure up there. But not a whole lot left in there. There certainly wasn't close to 8, so probably 2 liters low, if I had to guess. Maybe 2.5. Probably 2. Yeah, 2 sounds about right. Ooh, it feels pretty good, even with the booster. So I feel good about that. Keeps her from going backwards. It should be filling the torque converter now. I don't know how long I should wait for that. Get down the driveway where it's level. And then we go off a cliff. It's good for everyone. Now, the manual did say you can't get an accurate temperature reading unless you're in reverse or drive. Something to do with this temperature switch in there. So we'll have to shift it into one of the go forward gears to get the trans temperature off the scan tool. And then there's actually a big chart for how far in millimeters up the little dipstick it should be. This one doesn't have that, it just has a little window that says 25C. And I'm not a metric guy, but it's probably 27 outside today, so I bet we're already there. Okay, so it even shows it on this tool, if I can balance everything in reverse or drive. So at least Altel knows about it. That's who I'm using. Let's see if it changes when I put this in reverse. Oh, look at that. Right down to 38. Either way, more than 25, right? And then if we look at that chart, I took a screenshot. That's basically showing it should be at the 10 millimeter mark at 70C. And if that's linear at all, then we should be around 0. But mine doesn't show the same graduation, so I can't guarantee they're where they're supposed to be. I'm just going to jam it in there and see where it shows compared to the 25C mark that it comes with. So in park with it idling. Oh, there's my stick. And I already know I have the right plate at the bottom. It's got the plastic sleeve that holds this, so it should be like 3 inches out from the bottom. So like right there, that's the bottom. And that's showing it as way high. Oh, it has an 80C mark too. 25 and then 80. Right now it's at like 40 and I'm right there. Maybe overfull. Hard to tell. I'll just let it idle for a while. Let it get to 80 and see what's up. Put it into each gear. 2 minutes at a time, now we're at 50C. That's in the 80C area. We're full. I can drive it down the road and see how much. Overfilled or not, I'm going to zip her down the road and make sure it goes and shifts. More importantly, make sure it stops when I want it to stop. I think left is better. No one's coming when I explode into a fireball. There'll be no one to save me. Ooh. Feels really good. Basically it shifts like it used to. Like there weren't any problems with it anyway, and it feels pretty much the same. The doors will be extra rattly because I took the plates out. You know what I can do? I can go get fuel. I'm almost empty. I realize I can't get fuel because I left my wallet at home. But this is a good enough place to test brakes because I have a left-hand turn lane for... Oh yeah, it stops just fine. I don't have any desire to stop faster than that. Didn't shift wilderness woods. Now everyone's gonna know how to get to my house. That's not in here. It's all private property. I better turn around. I bet you money somebody calls and says a white van was scoping their neighborhood. Okay, transmission, it's go time. Let's see how you're doing. Yeah. Shift's nice and smooth. Cars are stopping and I can hit my brakes. Oh, there's a little clunk on a downshift. Hopefully that doesn't become a thing. Maybe there's a big air bubble. Alright. Coming back up on the house. Let's see if it clunks again when it shifts down on me. It was a little unsettling. Nope, not that time. So maybe that'll make the fluid read a little better. Looking at the driver, oh no, that's pretty flat. I'll just back up right to the edge. So roughly 64C. Drove a little bit, got one clunk out of it. That was an air pocket. I should have checked this. Oh yeah, we're still in the 80C area. So I'm not worried about being gross